Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Queen of the Board, and today I'm playing Dice Throne Missions as the Dark Phoenix, also known as Jean Grey. And to begin with, we're playing a level 5 difficulty. There's no henchman side, it's boss fights both ways today. So we begin with Mordo. I'm set up here on the table. He actually has a starting health of 70. The mission, of course, is to try and defeat him. Come and join me. So Dormammu, the big bad, has sent his servant Mordo to go out there and collect mystical energy from the students here, the mystical students. And so he's going to be trying to absorb them. Sounds horrible. Over here, our main objective is to reduce him to 0 health. The bonus will be to try and limit the students from being absorbed. It won't be that easy, but it's going to also slow us down as they're being absorbed, because the crisis abilities are all about absorbing students. He's got his attacks across here and a dark curse boss defense, which does have range. All of his attacks actually have range, so we'll see how that plays out. I'm playing with Jean Grey. She starts in Jean Grey form, and later on, every time we have an income phase, she'll flip to the Dark Phoenix form. Momentum, usually you would start with 0. I'm starting with 3 thanks to the perks I've been gaining, starting with 2 combat points. And instead of 45 health, I get to start with an extra 5, again, thanks to my perks. They're very well worth it. I start with a hand of 4 cards. Let's see what I found. We have Twice as Wild, Tippet, Incendiary, and What Status Effects. Now, the rules I commonly get wrong with this game, or did when I first started playing it. Momentum I can gain instead of applying a status effect to another player, because I'm playing solo versus the boss. That's always an option. I've got my allies out here. Again, this is not a rules teach. I'm no expert at the game and I haven't played in too long, so I'm sure I'm a little rusty. Please let me know in the comments and turn on the Klingon captions so you can see my rules goofs. Here's a quick reminder of the turn phases if you're newer to the game. And I think that's it. We're ready to go. So movement first. The Phoenix is working with 4 different types of tokens. We've got Force Field, Acuity, and Flame Blast, all positive status effects to benefit me, and a Phoenix Burn, obviously not very nice to whoever gets that one. The passive ability Call of the Phoenix, Jean Grey must begin active at the start of your first turn, so we're going to be removing this. And then for all subsequent turns at the upkeep phase, I need to switch from one persona to another. And I'm playing with the standees. So here she is. I'll pop her under the camera for you. That's a really cool one. I wasn't lucky enough to get hold of the miniatures, so I'm going to jump in and grab this 5 health bonus, getting me up to 55. Now, in Marvel missions, you can go 10 above your starting health. That's my maximum. So my maximum will be 60 in this game. Now, unfortunately, I don't get an income phase on my first turn. I'm going straight into the main phase, but I think I'm going to get myself an ally, and I think I'm going to get myself a Jeff. He's only costing 1 momentum. We'll place him here and refill the allies. There's War Machine. So I'm spending my 1, going down to 2. And when I recruit him, I gain a shield, which is great because I actually really don't have that much in the way of healing for Jean Grey. Now, Jean Grey's ability, when she is active, I get to draw 1 card at the beginning of the main phase. So I've already made a mistake. I should have done that before recruiting my ally. Let's take a look. I find a mind walk. And I'll also get to draw a card if I get 3 of a kind on my die. So let's find out. Let's have an attack. Our first attack on Mordo. I am no less a magician. I am the sorcerer supreme. Well, we'll see. We got 3 2s, a 6 and a 5. I think I'm going to re-roll the 6 and the 5. Ooh, look at that. We got 2 6s. So that's my telekinetic blast. I gain 2 flame blast. This has a stack limit of 5 and helps me add damage. Then I gain 2 acuity. I have a stack limit of 4 on acuity, and these can help me get CP or re-roll. And then I deal 7 damage. So he's going down to 63. However, he does have the Dark Curse defense with range. So he's going to prevent 2 of that damage. So he's at 65 and I'm going to get an Entangle. Now, the good news is Entangle has a stack limit of 1, but it's going to give me 1 less roll attempt next turn. Now it's over to Mordo. 2 6s, a 1 and a 4. So unfortunately we do trigger the Scorn of 14. It's a multi-strike with range. He's going to inflict burn. Burn also has a stack limit of 1, but it will do 2 damage during my upkeep phase, and it is persistent, so I need to try and get rid of that. And then it says he's dealing me 11 damage. Ooh, well, we don't like that at all. I do get to roll my defense, however, but before I forget, 1 and 6 were on the red die. I often forget these. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those out now. I think they're at the back, so they'll go underneath. So 11 damage, and I'm rolling for defense. My defense roll is only 2 dice when I'm Jean Grey. I get a 2 and a 3, so I'm dealing 1 per, so that's 2 damage to him. This goes down to 63. So after Mordo takes the damage, my 11 damage minus the 3 from my shield icon, that gives me 8 damage. So I'm going to go down to 47. Then the crisis clock moves to purple, which absorbs student B. Nothing I can do to help them, unfortunately. And when a student is absorbed, they just get covered with a clear tile and treated as an empty space. Next, so we're going to move across and grab this health of 4 while it's still available. So that will get me up to 51. Now my passive ability, I have to switch to Dark Phoenix. When she's active, I do not get an income phase. But she does allow me to add 2 to an attack if I get 3 of a kind, and also to inflict a Phoenix burn. The Phoenix burn, I think, could be quite effective if you're playing against other players. I'm not sure that it's going to be that strong during missions, but we'll find out. Here we go with the attack. 1, 3, 3, a 6, and a 4. I've only got 1 reroll thanks to my Entangled token, unfortunately. So I think I'll just reroll the 4 and the 6. And we get a 1 and a 4. So I've got my deal 5 damage over here. I think that's the best we can do, and gain an acuity. Now these acuity tokens can help me reroll my dice later. I can now remove the Entangled. So we're dealing 5 damage to Mordo, but again, he's preventing 2 damage and giving me Entangled. So he's getting 3, which is nowhere near as strong as I need it to be. I think we'll exhaust Jeff to add an extra 2 damage. So he's going to be on 62. So the second main phase, I'm going to spend 2 combat points to inflict Phoenix Burn on a chosen opponent. And rather than inflicting the Phoenix burn, I'm going to take the momentum. So that puts me at 3. And then I'm going to spend the momentum to get War Machine. So that puts me down to 0. He has an offense kicker, so hopefully he'll help me boost and get around this 2 damage protection. Over to Mordo. And again, we've got the Scorn of the Full Teen, multi-strike with range, inflicting another burn, but luckily burn has a stack limit of 1. I should pop this here. He's dealing 11 damage. Now, because I'm Phoenix, I can roll all 4 of my dice. Now, if I'd been Jean Grey, these yellows would have been defense, but unfortunately they're not. This one, however, will do 1 damage to him at least. And I have to take the 11. So I'm going down to 40 health. This could be a quick game, guys, honestly. Next, we move the crisis clock to green. So roll 1 die per hero. And he would have gained a shield if I'd rolled an orange, but I didn't. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was the 5 and the 6 that had the reds on. So I'm going to pop those out. So that would be 1 here. And 1 more here. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. Next is my movement, and I think I'm actually going to be brave and jump to number 6. These 2 go on my board along with that one. They won't trigger yet. Now we're going to go back to the Jean Grey persona, and we will draw a card and get CP this time. Oh, thank goodness we find an upgrade card for defense. I gain 1 CP. My burn is still active, so I'm going to take 2 damage, going down to 38. We need to try for some big attacks. I'm going to use Mind Walk to remove 2 acuity to gain 3 CP. That puts me up to 4. And then I'm going to use that to pay for Psionic Shield. That will get me some extra dice for my defense. And that costs me 2. So I go down to 2. And once again, because I'm entangled, I only get 1 reroll. Let's see what we get. I got 2 6s, a 1, a 3, and a 4. 2 6s, a 1, a 3, and a 4. I'm going to reroll this one. I'm going to spend an acuity to roll it again. Great. Okay, so we can use Telekinetic Blast. I gain 2 Flame Blast. Stack limit is 5 and I have 4. 2 more acuity. And then I deal 7 damage. I'm going to use my offense kicker from War Machine. So I get to roll a die and add half the value rounded up. So that's going to add 3 damage. Not bad. So that deals 10 damage to Mordo. He's got his defense of 2, so that's 8 damage. Going down to 53. The entangle, of course, comes back. Then it's over to Mordo. So this does not trigger. Instead, we have Maddening Echoes. So again, ranged, inflict hex and deal 9 damage. Hex means that next time I roll a 6, it's not going to count for anything. It will be like it's a blank die result. So that's also awful. And even worse, I have these 2 crits that I'm standing on, and that's going to add 3 damage for each one. So in fact, it's 15 damage, going down to 23. And we check and we see 3 and 1 were red. So I'm going to put those out. 1 here and 1 here. Next, we move the crisis clock to red. Absorb student C. So student C is now gone. Back over to me for movement. I think we'll go, these boosts are not that bad, she says. She just lost a bunch of health for that. But We'll do this, and then we come into looking at these two, and I get 3 momentum and 1 CP from it. Going up to 3. I'm gaining 2 cards immediately for this one. So we find an upgrade for Firebird and a 6-it. Dark Phoenix is back, and so I don't get my income phase. However, what do we want to do? I am going to put out this Firebird 2. That's going to give me extra Flame Blast, which again, to figure these out. I'm not using the tokens as well as I would like to, but that's the 2 CP, so I go down to 1. Remembering on this round I am hexed, so my 6s won't count. And of course I'm also entangled, so I don't get the extra reroll. And I'm still on fire, so I'm taking 2 damage from that. So I'm down to 21. I'm gonna reroll the 4. I'm gonna spend an acuity to reroll this 6. There we go. I've got at least a deal 6 damage. I get to gain an acuity back using War Machine for my kicker. So that's 2 more damage. So it's 8 damage total minus his 2 defense. So 6 damage, he goes down to 47. Too slow. The Hexed comes off. Over to Mordo. Doesn't trigger, doesn't trigger, doesn't trigger. Okay, well that was lucky because I had the 2 crits on my board. A little bit of fresh air. We put a 1 and a 2, get the red tokens. So 1 here and 1 where I'm standing. We move the clock up and roll 1 per hero. And he doesn't gain the shield, so that one isn't too bad. Back over to me. Movement first, and I think I'm going to stand on this 6 for now, where it's kind of safe. I now get to take these benefits, so 2 more momentum. I didn't refill my allies. Dark Phoenix is coming off my board. Back to Jean Grey. So I do get my income phase going to and drawing a card. Psychic Shield. Now it's the first main phase, so I also get to draw a card. I think I was forgetting that earlier. And I find samesies. I'm going to spend both of my acuity tokens to gain 1 CP. Taking the 2 damage again, down to 19. Still no way that I've found to heal her at the moment. It's my attack roll, but I don't get a reroll. We got 2 6s, a 2, a 3, and a 5. I'm gonna reroll this one. Okay, so we've got Telekinetic Blast. I gain 2 Flame Blast. Stack limit is 5, so I pop this here. I gain 2 acuity, and then I deal 7 damage. But again, I'm going to use War Machine. He got a 6, so I must exhaust him, but he's going to be adding 3 plus 3, so another 6, so that's 12 damage minus the 2, so he loses 10, down to 37. I keep the Entangle. Over to Mordo. And he's going to trigger Eldritch Webs. So he is inflicting silence. So I can't do my straights in the next turn. And 5 undefendable damage. So I go down to, oh boy, 14 health. Moving to the blue, I'm absorbing Student A. Sorry, students, I know I'm not much good to you right now. Then out comes the Phoenix. Oh, War Machine was used up. So I'm going to get Ant-Man joining the party for a cost of 2 momentum. Down to 3. Refilling. Nick Fury is out. I gain a shield. Ooh, I got 3 6s. So we're going to re-roll these 2. I only had 1 re-roll, but guess what? I can change the value of any 2 dice for a cost of 3 CP. I'm going to do it as I have the 3 CP. And I think I forgot to take the damage for the burn, so I'm down to 12. I don't know if I did that twice or not. But yes, we get to perform our 1 true Phoenix. And we have more than 3 of a kind. So I'm going to add 2 damage as well, but it's going to be 12, 14 damage from this. And it's not defendable. It's going to go straight through to him. So it's going to go down 20, 3. And I finally am rid of the entangled token because he can't defend on this one. Even if I don't win, that felt good. She's a lot to deal with. There's a lot of upkeep on this lady. So it's 23 versus 12 right now. But it's not over yet because I want to use my Flame Blast tokens. I'm going to spend 3 of them to increase the damage by 4, bringing him down to 19. Over to Mordo. So we have his Scorn of the 14. It is inflicting burn, but I'm already burning. Deals 11 damage, but I do get to defend. And 2 and 6 for the red counters. So it's going to be 2 and right here. And by the way, I should have gained Force Field and Acuity when I performed my 1 true Phoenix. So we'll defend first, and because I'm Dark Phoenix, I can roll 5. I do 1 damage per orange, so he's taking 3, going down to 16. I gain a Flame Blast for the blue. It doesn't prevent, but I'm going to use my Force Field. I have to remove another positive status token, so I'm going to get rid of this Acuity. And this will prevent half of the damage coming at me, rounded up. So I'm going to take 6 damage, which leaves me with a life of 6. However, I do have a shield, and so it's in fact going to be 9 health that I'm on. We move the clock and it's green, so we're rolling 1 die per hero. He does not get a shield. Now it's my movement and I'm gonna come and grab these 2 crits, hoping for some good bonuses under there when it comes. So hopefully it won't end up killing me. So that is my movement. I'm going to move over to being Jean Grey. So I do take 2 damage from the fire to 7, but I get a combat point and I get to take a card, which is double up. For 1 CP, I can draw 2 cards. And you know what? I think I'll do it. So I go down to 0 and I'm drawing 2. We got Getting Paid, which I'm going to trigger immediately to gain 2 CP. And Better D. That's going to give me a reroll for a defense. Now the main phase, so because I'm Jean Grey, I get to draw another card and I find, ooh, not this time. Finally something that can help me prevent incoming damage. It does cost 1 CP, but that might help me stay alive long enough to kill him. And because Dark Curse was not defendable, I'm not entangled right now, so I have my 2 rerolls. This comes off as well. So I've got a small straight. I think we'll try for the big straight. So I've got 2 rolls to find a 5. So 2. Oh, a 5. Yes, we get the big straight. So I gain 2 acuity. and I'm dealing 8 damage. So he is going to be going down. It is defendable, so he's taking 6 damage. He's down to 10 health. I've only got 7. I think this might be the final turn. Let's see what happens. Okay, so he has rolled 5, 4, 4, 1. And so I'm going to play Tip It, which cost me 1 CP. And that allows me to increase or decrease any die by 1. And so I'm going to bring this down to a 3. And that means this doesn't trigger, and this doesn't trigger. So I'm not taking damage. Okay. Okay. We're going to move up and absorb student D. D is right there. Okay. Still alive, and I can't believe it. Next, it is movement. Honestly, there aren't many good places to go. So I think I'm going to we'll just come here. I get to turn these over. Oh, I get 6 health and a card. So I'm going up to 13. And I get a card and I find synthesis. So my maximum hand size is 6, but I don't have to discard down until after my attack is done in main phase 2. I get the 2 from this one. And this one's going to stay on my board, but we bring out the Dark Phoenix. I go down by 2 health because of the burn token. No income phase, but we're hoping now to take advantage of her offense ability. I am entangled again, I believe, because he defended. Okay. I got 2 6s, 2 5s, and a 1. I'm gonna re-roll. 3 6s and 2 3s. So I've got essence. Ooh, I'm going to spend this token to re-roll a dice. Spend another token to re-roll. Got a 6, okay. And I'm going to use 6 it to change the value of one of your dice to a 6. So this one will become a 6. Yes, and now I can do my 1 true Phoenix, dealing 12 undefendable damage to the boss. Success, I survived. Oh my goodness. Ooh. So we defeat Mordo. This is only the boss fight, side 1. But that's really tough. That was really tough. I have to say, Phoenix is pretty tricky to play because there's just so much going on. I'm pretty sure I didn't take that 2 damage from the fire again this turn. I may have missed a couple of those, but continuously trying to flip from one to another and doing it after the movement during Hero Part 1 when you feel like you've already started is confusing for me. So this may not be my favorite hero because I was thinking she was going to be able to do a ton of damage, and maybe I just didn't get her upgrades coming out to do it. But I wanted with the Phoenix for her, when she's in Phoenix form, to just go crazy, and you don't get an income. You get an extra 2 damage when you've got 3 of a kind. It's not really enough for me. So this one probably isn't my favorite hero, but still fun to give it a try because I've been waiting for a while. It does say that this is, I think, the most complex hero in the X-Men pack. And I'm sure that's what we're seeing here. Probably with a bit of practice, it would be fine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.